Hi, good afternoon. My name is Colette Simeon. You might know me from stand-up comedy, and this is the news to my knowledge. Couch edition. I apologize for my couch. Unfortunately, my cat wreaked havoc on my couch, and I bought one of those really cheap couch covers from Amazon, and that's where we are right now. Unfortunately, also, I don't have any cool chairs in front of cool paintings, even though I have cool paintings in my house. It's not how I laid out my house to be broadcasting. News that I read and interpret for other people to you. I laid it out mostly to like veg out and watch TV. I don't even bring people here. But enough of that about me. Let me give you some statistics. So these are the coronavirus statistics as of today. I am using the Washington Post as my source, and right now we have 4,669 cases with 89 deaths. Notable places where the virus has struck. New York State is reporting 967 cases with 10 deaths. Washington State has 904 cases with 48 deaths. A number of those cases that have passed away was due to that nursing home that was an early victim to the pandemic and rampaged throughout the entire facility. So that's older people, I would assume, in that number. But I'm not like being completely knowledgeable on that. I just do know that nursing home did have a case that went rampage between staff and people in care. The state of Texas has 85 cases with 1 death. Maryland has 42 cases with 0 deaths. Virginia has 51 cases with 2 deaths. Notable case is across the street from my house, which is why I'm not outside, because I'm like super freaked out. The elementary school across from my house had a teacher that tested positive, and the news was released on Sunday. I found out via my church, Grace Presbyterian, but I did confirm it in other reports that yes, a teacher at Lynbrook Elementary in Fairfax County, Virginia, did get a positive test from the coronavirus. And DC has 22 cases and 0 deaths at this juncture. As we know that there are cases in Senate and Congress right now, and some of our senators and Congress people plus their staff are self-isolating due to being in contact with people with the virus. Also, our own president recently was in contact with at least 2 or 3 people that had the virus, and he said he was tested, but the test he described sounded like a staph infection test or the regular flu test where they stick a big old long Q-tip down the back of your throat. And if you have stuff in the back of your throat, which I do not, thanks to a tonsillectomy that took out my uvula and stuff. If you have stuff in the back of your throat, like it takes like the stuff and it makes a culture and you get results. I am unaware of how the coronavirus test is presented to people. I heard it was like either orally or they go in your ear or something. He might be lying. I don't know if you trust the president, like, implicitly, but meh. Also notable, the White House agrees with a bunch of people that people should have, like, some sort of emergency cash in this situation. So they might, and I'm underlining might because, I can't promise you anything, dispense some cash to tide people over. Right now in America, we are in a situation similar to France, Spain, and Italy, where all non-essential places have been shut down. And so stores, supermarkets, and also drugstores are open. We do still have emergency staff. You can call 911 and go to the hospital. But on the other side of that, if you are having an elective surgery or something like that in a major hospital, it might be postponed. I am supposed to have a surgery at the end of the month. Who knows if that will happen, to be honest with you. My present situation is I have lupus, which affects your immune system, so I'm having to quarantine in place. I've been in quarantine on place since I saw that it was a threat, so about a week and a half ago, maybe a little bit earlier than that. I started making precautions and stocking up on stuff. Plus, I received assistance from people in my community to be able to be better, better adjusted for this than most households. I also have no children and I live alone, which also makes this situation easier for me. I know a lot of people are parents right now and are dealing with having to be with their children all day or sort out childcare, also healthcare, to make sure those little people are active and occupied during this time of shutdown. I actually have a view of my complex's playground, and it's a gorgeous day outside and no children are playing outside. They're probably spooked by all of these things that are happening to us, and parents are trying to be vigilant to have social distancing in place. Other notable things is I was thinking about my neighbors. I have a lot of neighbors who are Latino that work in the food service industry, and some of them are people who came from their country and may or may not have documentation. I have a major question of what's going to happen to these people if things go bad or this continues, because if you think about it, a lot of our undocumented citizens in this country do work in the service industry. They work in hotels and restaurants and other places for very little pay. And what kind of compensation is they have households that need food and toilet paper and groceries and all kinds of things like that, and what is going to happen to those people. I know there's a few grants and funds going out right now for people who do work in the service industry, who are now not being able to go to work and make that income that they have. I feel like this is going to open the door to a conversation about having more of a safety net for our service industry workers, and possibly I would say we should have a discussion about our tipping culture. In a lot of other countries, people make a living salary when they work in restaurants and things like that, and the tip is not customary and just is a little extra bonus, where you have people having to live on tips. And not only that, a tip can be any amount of number. So if you budget to be on 20% of what you take in, sometimes that doesn't happen for you, depending on who you serve, what kind of people they are, how they respond to you. You could be the most polite person in the world, but if you're serving someone who does not like the way you look for whatever reason, or they don't like the tone of your voice or whatever, they can not pay you, cutting you out of money that you need to take care of your household. So my heart is going out to my friends who work in the service industry and my people who are dependent on industries that have since shut down. Also, I am concerned about, and if you aren't trying to do something for the homeless, it should be something you should do right now, because those people are lacking safety nets already, and with less traffic in the streets and people moving around less, they aren't getting money that they need to buy essentials that they need to live on the street. I don't know if you know this, but hygiene is very hard out there if you don't have a home, and these people are trying to keep clean, and they're people just like the rest of us. I don't know about you guys, but I'm being very cautious in this situation. I'm trying to look at all angles of this quarantine to see like what our best practices. I know a lot of us aren't used to being shut in alone and are having anxiety and loneliness due to the fact that you cannot interact with each other like you do at work or whatever. And I would say, like, please reach out to your friends on social media. You can set up Zoom meetings, Zoom house parties. I'm thinking about like getting together with comedian friends and just doing like calls where people call you and you joke around with each other in a video chat and releasing that on social media, because like this is a time for you to be able to devote some time to creative processes, which we don't normally have in this hustle and bustle day. But, you know, everyone is feeling a hurt. Everyone is feeling an anxious moment out here. So I would say, like, be kind, be courteous, keep your distance from people, but make sure you can figure out a way to like not just make sure that you're okay, but other people in your community are okay, because you have to live with them. That's my time. I hope the best in this time of trouble, and I can be reached on Twitter at @CoSme, or you can find me on Facebook by Colette Marie Simeon. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your week.